Hey everybody, my name is Paul Green, and today we are going to be talking about one of the darkest and saddest trends that is plaguing our society: identity theft. We all love the internet, right? It definitely makes our lives easier, simpler, and more enjoyable on the whole. We use it for work, we use it to plan activities, we can get our education on the internet, we use it to stay informed, to do our banking, to shop, communicate with loved ones. The list goes on and on. It's innovated all of our lives because it is indeed a revolution in informational technology. Just about everyone in the world is connected to the internet these days. Good people and, unfortunately, some bad people too. Bad people like thieves, identity thieves more specifically. According to Wallet Hub, identity theft occurs when someone gains access to your personally identifying information, or your PII, such as your name, social security number, or bank information, and uses it to commit fraud or other crimes. Anything ranging from buying goods or services with your credit card numbers, to assuming your identity entirely by obtaining documents with your name on them, then committing additional crimes as you. It is a terrifying reality of our digital world. The very general crime of identity theft falls into 6 major categories, according to the Federal Trade Commission. Employment or tax-related fraud, which accounts for about 34% of identity theft. Credit card fraud, 33%. I would have thought this would be number 1 for sure. Then phone or utilities fraud, which accounts for 13% of identity theft. Bank fraud, which accounts for 12%. Loan or lease fraud, 7%. And finally, government documents or benefits fraud, also accounting for 7% of identity theft. Though most people already seem to be at least somewhat aware of identity theft, the crime itself is definitely on a very dramatic and wide-sweeping rise. According to an identity fraud study by Javelin Strategy and Research, it is estimated that more than 15 million people lost $16 billion to identity theft in 2016 alone. The number of victims has increased a whopping 50% in the past decade. The most newsworthy case of identity theft, because it involves so many potential victims, close to 150 million people, happened just this past year. Equifax, if you'll remember, an enormous credit checking and collection agency company, was hacked, and the thieves gained access to names, social security numbers, birth dates, driver's license numbers, and even tax records. Perhaps the saddest and most alarming statistic regarding this topic, especially for us as educators, is that identity theft among young people is among the fastest growing segments. This is due in part because teenagers and young adults spend a ton of time online. They share more personal information on the internet, they share housing like apartments and dorms, and are typically less cautious as they lack a credit history and therefore do not think of themselves as potential targets. So, of course, the logical question is, what can we do to protect ourselves? Thank goodness there are a myriad of different safety valves and protective services to choose from. Firstly, let's talk about what you can do offline. Be smart, be aware, be vigilant. Do not leave mail laying around, especially if you share housing, most especially things like pre-approved credit card offers. Identity thieves love those. Shred all important mail and documents you no longer need. Don't just throw them away. If you can, make sure your mailbox has a lock on it too. Also, be wary of strangers in and around your home. People like repairmen, cable guys, painters, mechanics in your car, etc. Again, sadly, there are a lot of bad people out there. My time ran out. I'm so sorry, but I just found out that Powtoons only allows 5-minute presentations. So, please click on the second link to see and hear the rest of my identity theft presentation. So sorry, everybody. My bad.
Created using Powtoon.